So Joe Rogan's under fire again. He had a...
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
If you accusing somebody of raping you and molesting you, ain't no more anonymous. We got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of that. Because that most of his lawsuits.
I mean, I understand why you want to be
I
anonymous,
get it too,
but if
but
you want
fuck
your
that.
accusation to hold more weight, you
Exactly.
gotta yeah, I get it, the fear and all that stuff. Like, I get it, but like, if you want people to take you seriously, and I don't mean that to sound as fucked up as it does, you gotta show your face. You
Put
gotta,
your chest behind it.
yeah, you gotta put. Yep, exactly. You have to.
Slander, bro. That's all it is. Destroy a person from fucking shadows, bro.
Speaking of slander.
Yeah, all right. Speaking of slander. So, like I was saying, Joe Rogan's under fire again because on one of his recent podcasts, he shared an opinion about the vaccine. And now you got headlines and news networks trying to say Joe Rogan is accused of spreading anti-vaccine misinformation. So pretty much what we're first going to do is actually watch and listen to what Joe Rogan says and then pretty much agree or disagree. Can you hear the footage a little bit, Doc, when I was playing it?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, perfect.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no. Yeah. Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, and like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
But there's a lot of jobs that will tell you you need to have this.
Well, that's what's starting to happen now.
People are worried about them doing it for their children. And we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
That you might have to have your children vaccinated. And, you know, I can tell you as someone who's both my children got the virus, it was nothing. I mean, I hate to say that. If someone's children died from this, I'm very sorry that happened. I'm not in any way diminishing that. But I'm saying the personal experience that my children had with COVID was nothing. One of the kids had a headache. The other one didn't feel good for a couple days. Yeah. Like, maybe, I mean, not feel good, like no big deal. No coughing, right. no achy, no, like, in agony. There was none of that. It was very mild. It was akin to them getting a cold.
Yeah, and you can have this thing where it's like you were saying, this virtue signaling and this kind of like theatrical display of I get the vaccine, what a good person I am, I care about everyone. But you're like, look, my daughter's a lot younger than your kids, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not injecting my daughter with something to fucking virtue signal. Like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
If there's something that she's of no risk, statistically has no risk from, right. I'm sorry, I'm not taking any experiment on her in that. And that's my attitude.
But it's amazing that that's controversial.
Yeah.
But even saying that, I'm not going to inject my child with the vaccine is controversial.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because, again, we are not talking about even the flu that we just found out killed 22,000 people last year. We're not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about something that is not statistically dangerous for children. But yet people still want you to get your child vaccinated, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, you should be vaccinated if you are vulnerable.
All right, and that was the clip. So I don't think he was spreading misinformation. I really think they're blowing this out of proportion to get clicks, like clout. Like, this is the toxicity that we're seeing, the continued toxicity of news networks, in my opinion. As my shirt clearly says right here, defund the media. Like,
Where'd you get that?
My parents.
Yeah, the media's a little dangerous with it. But even the media itself is like, they've already turned tables. Like, now they're talking about like people dying from the vaccine. It's just like, what? Like, you were just talking about us getting to it. Yeah. Now you're telling us about people dying from it, because obviously they're just trying to generate ratings. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so to us, it looks chaotic, and to them, they're just like, we gotta keep those numbers up. But to us, it's just like, this side of the world's on fire. Now that side of the world's on fire. Now you're on fire. Everyone's on fire. It's just like, dude, what the hell?
But he didn't really say anything wrong either. That's why I guess I'm like, if y'all see it, help me here then. I really don't see where the misinformation is.
He told...
Because he really wasn't giving any...
He didn't misinform anything. The only thing that I don't care, obviously, but the only thing that I could catch was I would tell them not to worry about it. And just I get his sense...
You got to preface
he-
to when he said that. Like, if you're healthy,
No.
if you work every, like
yeah,
he said,
still,
you
but
don't- we
still
shouldn't
with
wor- we
that,
shouldn't worry about
those
it.
people should still. It's him using the word not worry. It's him using the words not worry about it and even though we get what he was saying,
Yeah.
he wasn't saying literally. He's still saying take precaution. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're 20, you're young, you're fit, you're da-da-da-da-da, still take certain precautions, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be out there licking toilet seats and shit like
He
that.
didn't tell anyone not to get it.
He said don't. Well, he said I wouldn't worry about
He
it.
said if you asked me, should I get this or whatever,
I would
it
tell you I
was,
wouldn't worry
I would
about
tell
it.
you I don't want to worry about it.
Yeah. But that's his opinion, which he's allowed to have on his
Ex-
podcast.
Exactly.
He didn't tell it. He didn't say it was fact or fiction. He said that's my opinion.
We'll compare him to Alex Jones when he came out on Andrew Souls, who straight up said that it causes cancer.
Are you trying to talk about Alex Jones? Man, this man is dramatic.
Oh,
Like, I mean,
God.
that's misinformation.
cigarettes
Where it's
stuck
just
in
like,
his
oh, it
throat,
causes
bro.
cancer, bro. I mean,
Some of the shit he says actually turns out to be true, dog. You'd be surprised. Don't get me wrong. He says some outlandish
Do you
things.
know the craziest shit? The craziest shit that you just said?
Go for it.
Alex Jones is white Dr. Umar.
White Dr.
Probably.
Umar. I don't think I
You
know
know who Dr.
Umar
Umar,
is.
the
No.
guy who I told you we make fun of, the black community makes fun of because he's always super black. He blamed the Nigerian wind spirit
No, I don't think I
in the
remember
park for dropping his phone. Yeah, the one who said Kobe was killed in a conspiracy and da-da-da-da-da-da. He's the black guy that's always on Twitter. If you type in Dr. Umar, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We've had a conversation about him
Yeah,
before.
I'm gonna look this
But he was on the Breakfast Club recently, right?
UMAR.
Mm-hmm. He was on the Breakfast Club recently, right?
Is that him
Yeah.
right there?
dude, he
That's
kind of
him?
looks like
the
the
super
black Alex
afro.
Jones.
He's super afro.
Yeah.
He's super afro. He's always taking donations. He that's his catchphrase. Like,
Gotcha.
But this man will say, this man has been on Oprah's show before. This man will say 30 seconds of something that is so completely true.
Then
that
sprinkle
it-
some bullshit on
and
it.
then no, it's all bullshit. And then 30, the sprinkle is the truth. But that sprinkle will have people eating it up.
Gotcha,
Eating
okay.
it up. And that's what Alex Jones is. Like, Alex
I don't
Jones,
watch Alex Jones. The only time I've seen Alex Jones is when he went on
But Alex Jones has
and
been
Joe Rogan.
undercover in private communities,
Yeah.
in establishments he probably shouldn't have been at. He's
Yeah.
not lying about those things. He was there.
Yeah, he went to one of the elites like little ritual things they went to.
literally
Yeah,
said,
he
like,
actually
documented it. And I'm telling you. So,
some crazy stuff, y'all.
but then it's like, at what point are they just feeding him bullshit to drive him crazy?
He confronted one of those guys, and you could tell like it's not bullshit.
It's not
like,
bullshit.
he
No, what I'm
was-
saying.
He was pissed.
But then, like, what if one of those guys like, yeah, and
You
we
weren't
drink,
invited to
no,
this.
no,
Why did you
yeah,
record?
and we're drinking baby blood. You caught us.
See,
Just so that way
that's-
he goes out and says,
But that's my problem with Alex Jones, and that's why I appreciate when he was on Tim Pool's, because when he says things, he tends to go on like these weird rants. Like I guess the example you said with Dr. Umar, like he goes on these rants and sprinkles the truth, and the truth gets clouded by his little like dramatic storytelling. That's why
I
when he
feel
was
like
on Tim
that's what
Pool-
Joe Rogan tried to reveal when he was.
Oh, he was trying, but he just wasn't that successful because like.
Well,
Alex
'cause he
Jones-
needs
he's-
to fact
Al-
check.
You
Well,
can't control Alex Jones. He's
Like,
just
that's
out
the whole
there.
point though. Like people buy into the sprinkles and they're like, no, dude, like you got to listen to it all because there's sprinkles of truth here and there. The only thing is, after a while, the sprinkles become subjective, and it's just like, well, part of it is, and that's what makes him dangerous. Where it's just like, what at what point starts turning into sprinkles and what isn't? You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah,
people
completely.
buy into all of it after a while,
Yeah.
and then eventually they just, they start saying stupid shit, and so they try to
think
suppress him in that sense.
That's the problem with everybody, from the independent news people and also the actual mainstream news people. You got to actually like, when you hear something that triggers something in you, be it, I don't know, like something as simple as anger or happiness or whatever, before you actually accept that, go look it up just in case. Like, check, like, is he actually saying something? I don't know. I feel like our problem when it comes to people, when it comes to any kind of news, be it political or like even sports, like, you gotta double check, cite your stuff. I don't know. Like that's why that's why I want to use sports as an example, because when it comes to John is constantly, anytime someone expresses an opinion about something, he's already watched 4 different people talk about this and looked up 3 different other articles with the stats about it. Then he's like, okay, now that I've looked up everything and understand the
100%.
whole angle of it, now I'll actually accept this person's opinion or disagree with this person's opinion.
100%.
And that's what I try to do. I'm not saying I'm good at it either, but that's what I try to do with politics. And I feel like people don't apply that level of
Skepticism.
not necessarily I do agree skepticism, but the word I'm trying to use is like vetting.
I'll put it like this. In sports, we have something useless called next level stats. And those are the stats that you can generate just by anything. The oldest player over 33 to make 10 3-pointers in a row on a Wednesday. That'd be a next level stat. Because I could use a statistic to say anything, basically, and make somebody
Just
look
a
good or
necessary
bad.
stat to strengthen a necessary argument.
Exactly. That's all the politics. You can make the facts look non-factual, and you can make the shit that's fake look real. So, like, that's why when it comes to sports, is easier for me because I know the categories I need to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. If it's basketball, it's points, rebounds, assists, PER. You know what I'm saying? Football is pretty similar. Whatever position you're playing, you need to do that position. Politics is not. It's way more fickle because we, honestly speaking, do we know what our politicians are supposed to do based on their job descriptions? Like specifically? Like what the senator is in charge of? What the governor is in charge of? Like
well, in that case, yes, but the problem is...
Like we know book-wise.
Yeah.
But like, can we actually reference any of them doing their jobs that the book literally says they're supposed to do? It's weird.
And for my example would be AOC. She's in charge of whatever the district number is in New York, and what has she done for her district?
Well, it depends though, because I mean, people lean both ways in emotion and reason. And to some people who are highly reasonable, they like seeing the stats. To some people that are highly emotional, they like feeling whatever it is that they feel they've accomplished. So it just depends on. People are complicated, and that's the hard part about it.
I think it all comes down. I don't know. I think it all comes down to balance. And I'm trying to find a better way to more accurately pinpoint what I mean by balance, because I feel like that's kind of vague. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like we're not balanced right now. Everyone's trying so hard to tip the scales in a right or left direction.
I could see that.
And it's like, no, it's what matters is the middle. I'm not trying to take away from what you believe or what you think or what you're reasoning. It's just with our reasoning and blah, 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 we got to try to take it to the middle. We can't be too far one way or the other, because then there's too many people that are going to be disaffected or unhappy on the other side. Whatever thinking, no matter what leaning you have, it's got to somehow come back to the center of it to have a balance. Otherwise, like, we're going to have what we're having now, a polarized everything.
Everything is fucking polarized, dude.
All right, any last points? We're already over an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Dr. Umar, dog. I was really sweet. Fuck that guy.
All right, on that note, I think that's enough fake deep.
Look at this meme about Dr. Umar. Time to watch this Dr. Umar interview. Oh, no, I fucked up.
I'll report back to see if the vaccine has any adverse effects. I just got my first jab. I'll let you know if Joe Rogan was right or not.
Literally right after I got the shot, he actually gave me a call. Like, they told me I gotta wait like 15 minutes if I like have any kind of side effects. Dude, so just in case, bro, talk to me for like 15 minutes.
There's a part of the paper where it's just like, yo, you got to stay near us for 15 minutes to see if anything happens, and if it does, it's not our fault. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just like signed on it. And I called Gene. I was waiting in the car. I was like, man, something happens in 15 minutes, bro. Like, I need somebody to know.
It was the vaccine.
I was like, if you start feeling a craving for some brains, let me know.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys ever want to look up something interesting, you guys should type in Van Jones and look at what Black Twitter has to say about him. That's all. I won't say yay or nay. That's all.
Van Jones, look it up, guys.
Yo, so thanks for watching a clip of FDT. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Tune into full episodes of FDT Released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Peace.